Hey, what's up, you guys? It's your girl Maya. Welcome to my podcast, Real Talk. Yes, and it's called Real Talk because that's what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about everything real, every and anything going on right now. And, different topics that relate to us, you know. Um, so that's most important for me. I love to have conversations. I want to always get everybody's input as well. So I definitely will be having different guests on here as well. This is going to be my first podcast episode. I want to thank you guys all for coming in and spending some time with me, and I can have your ears. So I really appreciate that. Thank you guys. I want to first talk about on my first episode. To be honest, I want to talk about loss, and I think loss is one of those things where nobody likes to talk about, nobody wants to hear about it, and nobody wants to accept it. But to be honest, it's inevitable. We all have to deal with it because it's going to happen to all of us. And sometimes it's untimely. Sometimes we don't know. Nobody knows. And things just kind of happen spare of the moment. We have no control over that. And it's okay. But everybody has their own purpose, and some people fulfill their purposes, and that's just what it is. And I think that is the best part. And I feel like a lot of loss, even though it might feel like it's unfair, it's it's one thing that we should continue to celebrate and not look at it like such a horrible, terrible thing. It should be a celebration of this person's life, this how they were here, because we think about, oh, the negative. Oh my God, this person is no longer here anymore. This person left me or whatever. And it's okay to think selfishly about it too, because you took that L. But we got to also think about what was this person going through, or we don't know how they felt. We don't know what was going on with them. So for them to no longer be with us, we got to kind of celebrate them. The appreciate the time that they were here with us. They stayed with us. They accepted us and wanted to be around us or whatever. And let's also touch on, a lot of people are not appreciated until they are gone. You know, and I think we all get it kind of messed up where it's like we miss this person so much, or we want to spend time with this person so much, but it's always when they pass away, it's like, wow, I wish I would have spent more time with them. I wish I would have did this with them. I wish I would have did that with them. And it's like, you know, let's normalize spending time with the people that we love. Let's normalize having fun with those people. Let's normalize being around those people, opposed to, oh my God, this person isn't, I wish I would have spent this time. I wish I would have did this time. Guys, talking to these people who, and spending time with them. Um, you know, it is scary though. Let's rest easy to all these people that we've lost recently. Um, Whoever it is that you lost recently, up from in your family, up into celebrities and everybody, like, let's just take a moment to appreciate those people and what they've done and how they spent time with us, how they've brought things into our life, how they, even if it was a word, even if it was um just a handshake, no matter what it was, like, to be in the presence of somebody who is no longer here, is different. You just don't know. You could meet somebody and talk to them for a few minutes and then come to find out they're no longer here. But everybody sends so many different messages, no matter who you are. Everybody has a message to send to you, to give to you. And I feel like we don't take in consideration, we don't appreciate that. We don't look to see about why that person why did I meet that person, or why was this person in my presence, or why did I have this? Like, why did I meet them? Like, what is the message behind this? We don't ever think about stuff like that. We just think like, oh my God, this person's no longer here. Yeah, but that's what happens. So let's just start appreciating the people that we came across. Let's appreciate the time. Let's appreciate people and love each other, and and learn to forgive. Like, forgiving is like the most and one of the most important things about life. Like, nobody's perfect, whatever your perception of perfection is, but no one can be top tier. Everybody makes a mistake. But let's normalize forgiving those people. So, not just for those people, but for you. You want to forgive so you can move forward with your life. It's kind of hard to be like, I'm holding a grudge against this person and they're not even here anymore. That makes you feel that kind of messes you up a little bit, because you're like, God, I did not like this person and they're not even here anymore. And then what? Let's forgive people, whoever it is, your mom, your dad, family member, cousins, aunts, everybody. Let's, forgive, move forward. Even if you forgive them and they did something to you that is kind of like unthinkable, or something that is the most ridiculous thing in the world. Remember, you're not forgiving them for them. You're forgiving them for yourself so you can move forward. So even if you never talk to that person again, you're not holding on to anything. You are letting go of them, because if you don't forgive that person, they have complete control of your life. They have complete control of your thoughts. They have complete control of everything you have going on. So once you forgive, doesn't mean you have to forget, but once you forgive, think about it as letting go. I'm letting you go, and I'm letting that situation go. And even if we cross paths again, it's no bad blood. It's like, okay, I've been crossed that person out, or I've been forgave that person. We're good, and just like death, like, you don't want no one to go and you still are holding a grudge from them for 10, 15 years ago, or shoot, 5 minutes ago. And it could be something so simple and stupid. You could have talked to them about it, you know. So let's normalize that. Let's normalize celebrating death. Let's normalize forgiveness. Let's normalize letting go. I wanted to, since we're talking about loss, I wanted to we'll talk about an experience I've had with loss. I I haven't, prior to this situation, I don't think I've ever really dealt with loss. I've had, of course, losses in my family and stuff like that as a child, but as an adult, I didn't deal with loss. I didn't really, prior to that moment, I didn't deal with it, or I didn't have a person that close to me go away, like, die or pass away. I've never had that experience of being that close to somebody. Just on on every level. One of my, I'll say my daughter's father passed away, and it is 4 years now. I want to talk about that because it was my own personal journey, my own personal experience with loss. Well, I'm not going to say I had a personal experience, but I also had a experience with my kids who were 6 at the time. Yes, they were 6 at the time. So 6 going on 7. So I'm going to talk about the personal experience I've had. I've known this person since I was 18, and he passed away when he was 26, and I was getting ready to be 26. So I've met him in high school, my senior year. And if have you ever felt like you were so connected with somebody that you kind of like, or where you meet somebody and you just know that I'm going to be with this person, or I'm going to play hard to get, but I'm going to be with this person. It's like an instant thing. Like people say, oh, I don't believe in love at first sight or whatever, but at that moment with that person, I did. And I was also young and he was young too. We were in high school. So, yeah, so we obviously, had a relationship, a really, really strong relationship, not just a emotional relationship, but a physical relationship, and a spiritual relationship. And I think that was the biggest thing as a young girl, loving somebody, really experiencing what love was at first hand and experiencing it on so many different levels. And intellectual an intellectual level at a sense of young age. And you just like finding your person, like you have a soulmate. And I think I feel like we have more than one. I feel like everybody has more than one soulmate, but that was the first time that I met somebody that was my person. So we've built a relationship. We were together. We ended up having kids together at a young age. And when I say kids, yeah, we had twin girls together at young in high school. So, you know, I don't want to drag on the whole situation of everything, and being young and in love, things happen, obviously. But at times we grew from each other, but we always made our way back to each other. But he passed away, and he passed away from kidney failure. He already had end stage kidney failure, which it was end stage renal failure, which would be the medical term, I guess. He was already dealing with it when I met him, but it was controlled. He had a transplant already when I met him, or prior to me meeting him, but he dealt with it for a long time. And it kind of, I guess it just kind of took a toll on him, his body, everything. As he got older, this is my thing when it comes to things, and I'm getting off topic for a second. When you get, this is my opinion, I can't say this isn't factual, but I can't say it's factual, but this is what I feel like. When you get a transplant, just remember, you're made with your organs or whatever. But when you get a transplant, it's like taking out your own organs and you're switching it with a foreign, even though it is an organ, but it's foreign to your body. It's always going to come with, I feel like, certain complications, or it can come with complications. So you have to maintain that. And I feel like no matter what you do, whether you taking on a medication you're supposed to take, or you're taking care of yourself the way you're supposed to take care of yourself, if your body is going to reject, or your body is going to be like no, after 5 years, 10 years, your body is going to say no, and it's not going to want that no more. And after you do, usually, well, for his situation, his body rejected that kidney, and after a certain period of time, it didn't, it didn't want, like, he couldn't get another one. It seemed like, almost. And then we went through so much for him to get another one, and it wasn't working out. Even up into me giving him mine, because we were the same blood type, but it didn't. His body didn't reject. It didn't want mine either. You know. What they do is they test your blood against that person's blood, and your antibodies or whatever. And if their antibodies are fighting your antibodies, then you can't put that into their body, because all his body's going to do is reject it. You know, so it's pointless. So yeah, he passed away from that, and his slowly, his body shut down. Over a week, few weeks, body started shutting down, and that was the hardest part for me. And actually, I feel like a lot of people. Okay, let me kind of go back a little bit, because so we met in high school. We had our daughters in 2010. We I moved from our home state to another state, and I kind of rebuilt my life, I guess you could say, at 20 years old. And I removed myself and I built my life. He ended up coming back. Coming to me, and we pretty much, it took a little while, but we pretty much established our lives together and raised our kids together, until he passed away. And I'm glad the time I did get to spend with this person. And I want to also say that 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 day, I know a lot of people don't get the opportunity to say bye to the person that they love, but I was able to get to say goodbye. I was able to, say I love you, and he was able to say I love you and stuff like that. So I feel like, even though after that time, I think I was still traumatized, even with that whole situation, watching him, pass away. I was traumatized in the midst of everything, and shock for the moment where he passed away. I don't even think I cried. I think I cried. No, I did cry. But it was almost like, it was like I was so in shock that I didn't know how to react to it, because like I said, I never dealt with it before. So I didn't know what was going on, and I was already so connected with this person. I was so connected with them. It's like I knew that I didn't want them to go, and I was so mad at that time. I was so upset, and I was so mad that they were going away, because I had no, when I tell you, I did not think that this person was going to pass away. I did not think, and not for one moment, not for 1 second, never. The whole time of me being in this relationship, and no matter how many hospital visits, no matter how many surgeries I was at, no matter how many times he got sick or whatever situation, I never put in my mind that this person was going to pass away, ever. So I never even thought about it until that day, when he told me that he was dying in the hospital bed. And I'm like, what? Like, what are you talking about? Like, no, you're not. And it was almost like he gave up. And in that moment, and I'm going to say, in that moment, I was angry, because I didn't want him to leave us. And I was being kind of selfish, because I didn't want him to leave us. But I knew, if nobody else knew, I knew how much pain this person was in on a day-to-day basis. And no matter what I tried to do to help he still wouldn't stop the pain that he was going through. And I don't think a lot of people, a lot of family, a lot of friends knew how much pain and trauma this person carried with them. And when I say pain, I mean like physical pain. I mean emotional and mental pain he carried with him every single day. And, you know, me being that person who was with them every day, around the time, and us establishing a life together and us raising our kids together, it was very, very, very hard. But being young, you kind of overlook a lot of things when you're younger. You kind of overlook a lot of stuff. You don't really think about. You think selfishly. Well, I feel like I thought selfishly a lot, and even though I was very in love, you know, he was my soulmate. You know, we were going to get married and everything. But yeah, that day, I was shocked. It was a shocking, terrible experience, and I didn't feel it. I felt it that day, but that night, I think, is when I felt it the most. When I had to go explain it to our daughters, you know, that, you know, your father will no longer be with us anymore, to 6-year-olds who knew who their father was, who knew what was going on, who knew what the foundation, they knew their family structure, they knew this is what it is. This is my mom, this is my dad, this is our family. And that a part of that person is not that part of our family is no longer going to be with us anymore. Trying to explain it to them was the hardest thing ever, and that I couldn't keep my composure because I was still in shock, but I did. I explained it to them, to 6-year-olds as best you can explain it to a 6-year-old. And I'm going to tell you what my daughter said. Well, one of the twins, and the younger twin, I'm gonna say, because they're 4 minutes apart. She's like, okay, well, she's like, let's go pick flowers for daddy and then, you know, and it's 10 o'clock at night. And that night it was bad. You know, I went through a lot. I went through a lot. And I think I was so lost at that time because my whole life did a whole 360, a whole change. So I was so lost, and it's like I had to refine myself, and I had to evaluate my life, and I had to start over because I went from having a family, getting ready to get married, and, you know, waking up to this person every day, to being a single mother, getting ready to graduate from college and start a career with 2 kids. And no matter how many times I might have been separated from this person over the course of our relationship, he always took care of his children. So I didn't experience that single mother thing until he was gone. I think that was also traumatizing for me. That whole situation was traumatizing for me. But being transitioning it was hard. And 4 years later, I think let me just say this. Everybody grieves differently. Everybody grieves differently. I carry this person with me every day. And my daughters do, I'm sure they do. And you know, they know who their father is. They miss him. We talk about him. You know, we celebrate his life, stuff like that. But everybody grieves different. And I'm going to say that it's not, the pain doesn't necessarily go away. As time goes on, this is for me. Don't know everybody's situation or how they deal with it, but once for me dealing with it as an adult, being the father of my children and somebody I established a life with, it's a pain that I'm able to deal with better every day. And it never went away. It's just I know how to cope with it. I know how to deal with this pain every day. And every day it's like it's different. And it's been like that for the past 4 years. To a point I was able to move forward with my life. I was able to grow from that situation, and I was able to live my life and live it, and not without suppressing how I felt, you know, because I didn't leave on he didn't leave, we didn't leave on bad terms. We were in love with each other. So we already established our relationship. We already established our bond. We will always be bonded. I'm going to say when he did go, I felt like lost a part of myself at that time. And it took me a long time to gather me and get myself back on track and realize who I am. Because it did take a lot out of me. And when I say loss is, that's why I said we should normalize celebrating loss, forgiving people, and appreciating the people around you, because you don't know what could happen. You might never think, oh, something's going to happen to this person. You don't think that, of course, you don't want to put negativity into the universe. You always want to put positivity, but death is a thing that it's going to happen. It's untimely. It could be timely, depending on the situation, the circumstance, the person, the lifestyle. It could be, but for a lot of circumstances, it could be untimely, and that's where you want to appreciate the people in your life. You want to don't take people for granted. You want to celebrate. You want to have fun. You want to live your life, and it takes too much energy to hate somebody or be mad at somebody, and then when something happens to that person, you're beating yourself up. Nobody's perfect, of course, but sometimes you have to, in a lot of circumstances, you have to kind of be the bigger person and make some people see who they are, see who you are, and help them, help each other. Loss is hard, and it's a growing thing. It's a growing pain. It's to be a celebration. It's hard, but the more you dwell and dwell and dwell and dwell and dwell on this person who no longer being here, the less time it's going to take you to heal from this person no longer being here. And you're beating yourself up because there's nothing that you can do. You have to move forward with your life, but it doesn't mean you have to forget. And it's important. And I know nobody really wants to talk about that, but that's one of the things that I always wanted to talk about, touch base on, and I want to get other opinions on it. And what do you guys think? How do you guys feel about that? because it's important to talk about. It's very important to talk about. And also, I learned with my daughters, it's when they ask me questions and stuff like that, it helps, the process too. Not for just me, but for them especially. When they ask questions, the older they get, the more questions they have, and you know. So yeah, that's important. But I do want to say my daughters, his daughters, our daughters will always carry him. That's him. Like he left, it was like a gift, not only from God, the universe, but from him. He gave me that, gave me these two babies, and who are no longer babies, but these are, it's like us over again. So he left this behind, and they will live on through him. And yeah, just wanted to end that with that. So yes, his name was Turan. His name is Turan, and always just rest easy, and just like Twin One would say, the older one, he's a star in the sky. He's a star. So that's their thing. How they remember him, or how they talk to him, and that's what my 6-year-olds told me. So yeah, so definitely rest in peace to him. I do want to thank you guys for, listening to this episode, my very first episode. It was fun. And I hope everybody takes something from this, from what I feel like loss is. And I would love to hear about with you guys, what your opinion is with loss. And we can even do a part 2, and I can listen if you guys, want to talk more about it. But until next time, I hope everybody has a great night, and I'll be back.